Hey everyone, this is my second legendary that I'll be discussing as part of my legendary review series. I would have released this video sooner, but I recently suffered a head and back injury, so I had to take a few days off from sitting in front of the computer for long periods of time. Anyway, I'm all better now. Well, mostly. I chose Aggramar Stride to cover next for a couple of reasons. The first being it was the third legendary item I received on my Paladin. Funny enough, the night before I had gotten Tyr's Hands of Faith off Heroic Scenarius in the Emerald Nightmare. Then, the very next day, I was doing the weekly Epic World quest to kill, one of the named mobs. I forget his name. I know it took place in the water in Asuna, or Valshara. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Point is, I was in a raid group to kill the named mob, and I had actually died on my character. I tried to run back as quickly as possible because I wasn't sure if I'd still receive credit for the quest if I was out of range. Sure enough, I did not make it back in time, but I did still receive credit, and to my surprise, Aggramar Stride appeared in my inventory as my ghost ran across the water to retrieve my corpse. So I essentially had received two legendary items within about 15 hours or so of each other. It's kinda crazy. Anyway, the purpose of these video series is to highlight Paladin legendaries, review them, and explain their uses. Aggramar Stride, however, is also available to Death Knights and Warriors as well. Aggramar Stride is a plate boot with either strength or intellect, depending on your spec, and haste and mastery as bonus stats. The equip bonus is a passive effect that increases your movement speed by 75% based on your haste or critical strike, whichever is higher. When I'd first received the boots, the bonus was only haste. They added in crit later on, which expanded its utility. For those curious, Aggramar the Avenger was a titan in Warcraft lore. I'm not gonna go too in-depth in his story, but according to WoW Wiki, the bronze giant stares down impassively, his body wrapped in a gold toga. A huge, oddly shaped sword is sheathed across his back. The blade almost looks like the broken shard of some larger construction. He's also known as a former lieutenant to Sargeras. I put some links in the description below if you want to read up more on his lore. The boots themselves are pretty heavy and sturdy looking. I love these style of boots as opposed to the thinner plate ones that you could sometimes get. These look a lot heftier and ready to kick ass. They're bluish gray in color with a golden circle encrusted on the front. To clarify, these boots will only affect your movement speed, or how quickly your character runs around, basically. It doesn't affect attack speed or global cooldowns or anything like that. Also know that it isn't a combo of your haste and crit, it's only applied to whichever stat is higher for you. Unfortunately, these do not work in PvP. If they did, I think they'd be super OP. Right off the bat, a few things I can see they're useful for are running out of damaging spells or AoEs, tanks who wear these, they can approach adds faster, like for Mythic Pluses, general running around quicker during world quests. So let's go over the equip bonus in more detail. Increases your movement speed by 75% of your haste or critical strike, whichever is higher. So these are particularly useful for me because my main spec is Holy, where I stack crit. My off spec is Ret, where I stack haste. So these are especially good when I do world quests in my Ret spec. As for DKs and Warriors, I have limited experience with these two classes. However, from what I've researched, these are really great for DKs to assist with their mobility issues, and as for Warriors, those who stack haste, which currently appears to be for Fury and Prot, correct me if I'm wrong, the utility of these boots can certainly come in handy. Let's break down the effect of these boots with some good old math. If your movement speed will be increased by 75% of whatever your crit or haste is, how does this add up? The base crit on my Holy Paladin is 12,724. So if I were to equip Aggramar Stride, my movement speed will be increased by 75% of 12,724. So 12,724 times 0.75 equals 9,543. So what the hell does that mean? Well, I found out that there is no way in-game to view your actual movement speed. So after searching around, I downloaded the add-on called Deja Character Stats, which shows some additional in-game stats that aren't available to us by default. I've linked the add-on in the description below. I highly recommend using this if you have these boots and want to experiment with different movement speed increases. So, let's do some experimentation. I've switched over to my Ret spec now. I, by default, use Aggramar Stride as one of my two legendaries for this spec, but just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to unequip them momentarily. For fun, let's get some haste increasing buffs and have a little race with myself. Let's see how long it takes me to run from the statue on the outskirts of Stormwind all the way out and through the gates into the Elwynn Forest into this little bushy patch right here. Without the boots on, let's see how long it takes. Alright, now let's put the boots on and see how much quicker. Now, for fun, I found a few different haste buffs that I'm going to pop that will increase my movement speed even more. As Shara Salad will increase my haste by 375, Drums of Fury will increase my haste by an additional 25%, Crusade will increase my haste by 3%. Let's check out my time now. So, in conclusion, Aggramar's Stride is a great legendary to use if it's your only legendary or one of the only two that you own, in my opinion. They're most valuable for mobility, running away from hazards, world questing, and good for tanks to retrieve mobs quicker in instances and Mythic Plus dungeons. They are, of course, most valuable if your primary stat is either haste or crit. They're not the best in slot recommended legendaries for certain classes such as Ret Paladins, but if they are the only legendary you have, I still think they're pretty awesome. Who doesn't like running a little bit faster in this game anyway? As always, I'm curious what you guys think about these boots. What class do you play? Have you tested these boots out on that class? What do you like most about them? Is there anything that you don't like about them? Thanks for watching this video. If you like it, you can expect more, so feel free to subscribe to my channel to support me, and I'll see you next time for my third legendary series.